Do you know what I regret?
What?
Taking them comics and sweets over to him.
Well, I did tell you not to.
I know, and for once you were right.
I often am.
His loudmouth mother must have taken one look and thought, oh, she's a soft touch, that one. Let's see if we can make something more of it.
Do you really think she'll do what she says, though, and go to the police?
I doubt it. I doubt they'd listen if she did.
But what are we going to do about young Chesney? We're banning him.
I'd sooner not. He'll only antagonise, and we've had enough of that.
Yeah, but what if he gets up to his tricks and starts helping himself?
Well, then we take a leaf out of his mother's book and we call the police in. Let them deal with him. And if she still wants to shout at somebody, she can shout at them instead of me.
Chesney Brown. What year are you in, Chesney? 4. No, what happened, he were assaulted. And I've had him to the hospital, and they've said to keep a watching him and see how it develops. So I'm keeping him off for the rest of the week.
There's that wrong with him?
I'd let your mum decide that.
I will. Thank you. Right, that's your school told. Next stop, police station. And when we get there... Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Just remember, you've been hit on the head and you've got concussion. So act like you're dizzy and feeling sick and you've got an headache.
What, like this?
Something like that. There's no need to overdo it.
Listen, are we sure about this?
Sure about what?
I've had dealings with the police. They know all about making stories up. In fact, they're better at it than the rest of us.
So?
So what if they don't believe him? And they reckon you're putting him up to it. So they throw the book at you.
Look at this. Look at this.
And what's that supposed to be?
Strangulation. Got my windpipe in the knot.
Just do what I'm telling you. Never mind your windpipe. Now go and get ready. Go on. And we don't need the limping either. It were your head, not your leg.
All I'm saying, we have to be careful.
Did she hit him or didn't she?
Oh, she did, aye.
Well then. Now, you're going to get asked what happened, so don't forget. She hit you across the head, right?
Yeah.
Then she pushed you against a shelf when you hit your head, and that's last you remember till you're in the street again.
And, you know what the cops will say, don't you?
What?
They'll say, weren't there any witnesses?
And were there? Were there anybody else there?
Of course there were. That's what they're taking out.
Hey! You don't mention taking out. You were looking, and that's all you were doing. So there were no witnesses. What's that matter? She's admitting it, isn't she? And coming around with that stuff. Why would she do that if she didn't know she were in wrong? Come on. Excuse me.
Yes.
Can we make a complaint?
What sort of complaint?
My son's been attacked and hit across the head. With the result he was concussed and had to have hospital treatment.
Been attacked, have you?
Yeah.
Who by?
Oh, Mum.
What, love?
I feel all dizzy.
Oh, go and sit down, love. Les, see to him, will you?
Come on. Come over here with me, son. Come.
Poor chap. He's been ever so brave. Anyway, you don't need him. I can give you all details.
Am I ever going to know what you're going to do next?
Well, if you do, you know more than me.
Oh, looks like they're on to you. Listen, I'd say you gave that fellow's way just in time.
And I'd say you're not half as funny as you think.
I am.
What it is, Mrs. Sullivan, there's been an allegation made against you relating to a juvenile called Chesney Brown.
Did he tell you why she hit him? Did he tell you that?
Norris. And the complaint is what exactly?
Well, like the gentleman says, that you assaulted him.
I didn't say assaulted, I said hit.
Why don't you try saying nothing? Whatever I might have done, I was only trying to protect my property. You see, he was in here on his own.
Well, rather than you tell us now, what we really need you to do is come to the station. Talk about it there.
I'll go anywhere you like. Do you want me to come now?
Well, yes, that'd be...
Right, I'll get my coat. Norris, if anyone asks for me, tell them I've been arrested.
Here she is! Told you I'd be going to police, didn't I?
Look, just ignore her.
I intend to.
Now, your solicitor will be waiting for you, so you've nothing to worry about.
Pity they didn't put handcuffs on her.
He did with me, and I was the victim.
Like Chesney is. You have a lot in common, you two. Enjoy your ride! I know what's worrying you.
What?
You're worried about going to court, aren't you?
Well, I can't say I'm keen. I can't help remembering what happened last time.
But this is different. She's guilty. She's as good as admitting it.
And I was innocent. But it didn't stop him getting it all back to front.
It'll be all right. When that woman raised her hand to Chesney, she might as well have been writing a cheque with the other one.
I'm afraid things have changed, particularly where children's rights are concerned.
Children's rights? What about my rights? My rights not to have my property stolen, not to get a mouthful of abuse from some kid's mother because I caught him doing it.
You have those rights, certainly. That's why I'm here. Actually, we might not have long. Can we just establish a few facts? Tell me again what happened.
Well, I stepped into the back, so he was in the shop on his own. I came back out, and there he was, helping himself to sweets from the counter. So I smacked him on the head and threw him out.
When you say smack?
Like that. Not heavy. It wouldn't have harmed a fly, and it certainly didn't harm him.
He did end up in hospital.
Well, we could all end up in hospital. All you have to do is walk through door.
He received treatment for a wound to the head.
That wasn't me hitting him. That was because he tripped and caught himself on a shelf on his way out.
Did you push him?
Never mind push him. I'd have flung in the length of the street if I could have got my hands on him.
Mrs. Sullivan.
No. Look, like I told you, I hit him and I threw him out. Which I believe is my right to do if I think somebody's stealing from me.
Did anybody else witness this?
They didn't, no. But I promise you, they will next time. Because from now on, I'll not so much as look at a child unless there's somebody stood at the side of me writing down what they're doing in shorthand. I don't believe he was badly injured, or upset even. It's his mother that's put him up to this. Well, isn't it?
Mrs. Brown has made a complaint on her son's behalf.
And we're not contesting her right to do that.
Are we not?
But Mrs. Sullivan was placed in a situation where she had to act. You wouldn't suggest that she should have stood back and allowed herself to be robbed.
Did he actually take anything?
Anything? He'd have emptied shop if I hadn't got back in time to stop him.
But there were no witnesses.
What's that supposed to mean? That I'm making it up?
No, but it would have...
Do you not have security cameras installed, Mrs. Sullivan?
I do have one, yes. But it won't have caught anything because it's pointed at the post office counter, not the door.
It might be worth us checking it out anyway.
Oh, I don't think it'll do you any good. Anyway, if I have no witnesses to back up what I'm saying, then neither has he. So we're both in the same boat, aren't we?
Well, except that he did attend hospital, and we do have the doctor's report.
Saying what?
That he'd sustained an injury.
Well, I'm not disputing that. And I'm not disputing the fact that it might be that I gave him a fright. What I'm trying to tell you is why I did it and why I'd do it again.
Right, okay.
But Mrs. Sullivan is sorry about what happened and only wants good relations to be restored.
I was very sorry, yes. But as for good relations being restored, the longer this goes on, the more that's going to be hard to do.
Thank you. This interview is terminated at 14:05. Right, if you'd like to wait here, I'll have to consult with my sergeant, then I'll let you know what's going to happen.
Happens now.
That's what we're waiting to find out.
Mrs. Rita Sullivan.
Lady here, Sarge.
Rita Sullivan, you are charged that on the 12th of January 2004, you assaulted Chesney Brown, thereby occasioning him actual bodily harm. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
I think so, yes.
You'll now be released on police bail, and you will appear in the magistrate court on Friday, which is in 2 days' time. Your solicitor will explain what is involved. And all we need to do now is to take your photograph and your fingerprints.